Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Men of Zen.
It is time.
It is that spooky ass season.
You know, we're giving you guys a little early special with the spooky.
Oh, we're starting a little early. It's never too early to start. It's September now?
Yeah, you know what? It's right after my birthday. It's Halloween season.
Yep,
that's just what it is.
And that goes all the way up through at least the end of Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Which is totally acceptable. Anything after Thanksgiving is just cosplay, but spooky cosplay.
You know what?
And then we get Christmas.
I could skip Christmas and just go for second Halloween. Let's be real here.
Go for second Halloween.
Second Halloween. I'm starting a petition.
Well, my name is Brent, if you didn't know.
And I'm Phil, and I know you wish you could forget that.
No, they don't. No one wants to forget that. Who could forget Phil?
I know. No, definitely not my dad in first grade when he forgot to pick me up.
Huh. Yeah, well, damn.
Oh, no,
feels
but hey.
bad.
Brent, I got a game for you.
Ooh.
I got a game. So I want to do a drinking game with you.
Oh, okay.
Now, with this show we are watching today, and we are talking about today, Mieruko-Chan. Now, I'm going to give you two options of how we're going to play this.
Yeah, okay.
First option, we can take a drink every time we see something scary or like spooky or ghostly pop up on screen. Or the second option is anytime we see unnecessary butt shots or boob shots.
Oh, I know, right?
Which version would you rather play?
Honestly, the latter. I would rather go with the unnecessary butt boob shots.
Man, you are brave, because I feel like that's the equal playing field right there.
You know, I would think that, but honestly, there weren't that many times where I went, now why was that necessary?
Oh, my girlfriend was constantly being like, ass!
Yeah, like there was a handful, but it's not like I feel like there's more ghost scenes. I feel like there's more. Yeah, like just a touch. So just one, I will die. The other, I might live. Just rush me to the hospital.
But hey, guys, we're talking about Mieruko-Chan, the girl who can see them.
Yeah, dude, this show was honestly really unexpected. I had no idea what this was at all when you were like, this is what we should do. And I'm like, okay. And, you know, it was fun. It's not as exciting. Like, it starts off like, okay, like I'm interested, I want to know what's going on,
right?
And then it feels like it does close to nothing for like 4 or 5 episodes. And I'm like, okay, so it's just like a funny sitcom about a girl who sees shit and then she pretends to not see the shit. And I would say the last like 3 or 4 episodes are really the only super relevant episodes to the anime series, where that's where like it feels like it's just getting into what the story is actually about, and then it ends. And I'm like, oh, man, like it was finally getting really cool. And then I was like, oh, yeah, this is episode 12, though. So
yeah,
that's
so
it.
The way you got to look at this, Mieruko-Chan, this is a show, it's a slice of life. You know, just take your average slice of life anime, you know, nothing too crazy happens, but just throw like some spooky ghost shit into it. And really, that's the best way to describe the show, because you're right, nothing happens for the most part. It's just like, what wacky adventures is Mieruko gonna get into this week, you know, this episode? And like, she gets put into a situation where like, oh god, I can't let the ghosts know that I can see them. Mm-hmm. And it puts her into really weird scenarios and really awkward situations and really intense situations. But we're going to go over that today, guys. And, you know.
Yeah. You know what this show reminds me of, and I don't know what made me think of this connection just now. we were talking about this just a few minutes ago with Jimmy. This show feels like you're playing Blue Nami. You don't do a whole lot of anything. You just play cards to avoid shit, and then eventually it's over.
So anybody who doesn't know that reference doesn't play the One Piece card game, which you really should. It's a fun game.
Oh, it's a great game.
And just, little shout out to me and Brent here. We did a 2v2 battle yesterday.
Oh, yeah, Team Zen.
Team Zen. We won it all.
Up in this hizzy.
Pound
yeah.
that fist, brother.
Yeah.
There you go. That was some fun times, and
that was good stuff.
Yeah, if you have a local game shop, check them out. See if they got some One Piece. See if they got a One Piece locals. Even if you don't watch the show, let's be real here. The game is still really fun. I don't watch the show. I know a bit about it, but I don't watch it. Brent watched a bit.
I watched a bit a long time ago, but I've been reading the manga pretty faithfully for the last month or so.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
approaching chapter 200.
So you're like
a sixth of the way there.
Oh my god.
Yes. But like it's just something that like I do like in free time. Like before I'll be at work 15-20 minutes early. I'll just sit and read like 3 or 4 chapters. And then like when I go to bed, I'll lay down and read like another like the 3 or 4 chapters. And chapters are really short. So yeah, no, it's really interesting. Like I'm finally past a point where I hadn't seen any of what is currently happening, and now that I'm past that, I'm like, okay, this is getting more interesting. Because I remember I stopped the anime right when they met Chopper. They go to, I forget the name of the land that they go to, but they're being chased by Wapol, and it's like all snowy and shit there, so they run into this transforming little reindeer of a man who is also like a healer, the surgeon. He can like mix herbs and shit, and so I remember I got to that and went stupid, and then I just like stopped. Like this was like episode 150 something, I think.
So like a tenth of the way through the anime,
right?
At this
and
point.
I was like, man, like I watched all of this just to get here, and this is dumb. But I feel like I was just, not that it's actually dumb. I really do like Chopper. He's one of the best characters in the show. But I don't know. I feel like I just watched so much. I was like, all right, I've had enough. I'm burnt out of this. And then I just never went back.
Right.
So now I'm past that point, which is really good. The manga's great.
I'll let Jimmy tell me what's going on. But hey, we're not here to talk about One Piece. We're here to talk about... No, sadly no. That'll be an episode like maybe like a couple of years down the line.
Oh, okay.
We are here to talk about Mieruko-Chan, the girl who can see them. Brent, lay it down. What is the show about?
This series was originally a Japanese manga, written and illustrated by Tomoki Izumi. It began serialization online via Kodokawa's Comic Walker website in November of 2018. Kodokawa Shoten began publishing the series in print in April of 2019 and have released 9 tankobon volumes as of May 2023. With the 9 tankobon volumes released so far, the manga is licensed in North America by Yen Press, an anime television series adaptation by, I think it's Passion, or is it just Passion? It has an E at the end, so is it like that Passion-y. fancy like Spanish, like Passione? Aired from October to December of 2021. The anime television series adaptation was announced on March 18th, 2021. The series is animated by Passione and directed by Yuki Ogawa, with Takahiro Majima serving as an assistant director, Shintaro Matsushima serving as directing assistant, Kenta Ihara supervising and writing the series scripts, Chikashi Kadikaru designing the characters and serving as the chief animation director, and Makoto Uno designing the monsters. Kana Utante composed the music for the series. Sora Amamiya performed the opening theme, I Can See Them, Okay? As well as the ending theme song, You Saw Me? You saw me, right? You're seeing me right now, right? That's literally the name of the song. The series aired from October 3rd to December 19th, 2021 on ATX, Tokyo MX, KBS Kyoto, Sun, and BSNTV Funimation licensed the series outside of Asia. Muse Communication licensed the series in South and Southeast Asia.
Ooh, that's a mouthful you just said.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of shit. Now I'll say pick any aspect about this show, and there's fucking nothing there. There's nothing. These guys, nothing exists. The series is, again, it's so short. Mm-hmm. It's 12 episodes, so there's not really a whole lot to do a deep dive on in terms of like the anime itself. Animation wise, this is great.
Yeah.
I think it's an amazing series. And you know who Hana kept reminding me of? Orihime for some reason from Bleach.
Oh, yes.
Right.
You're talking about Hana, the orange-haired girl, right?
Yeah, yep. So
Oh,
it was like this
absolutely.
great value Orihime. And I'm
She has red hair. She loves eating bread.
Dude, she just loves eating. She's so fucking funny. I love it.
I love how she's just like, I need to eat. I only had 3 breakfasts today. I need my 4th one.
Constantly. That's the only thing she talks about.
She loves to eat cream-filled butt buns.
Butt buns.
Actually, my girlfriend and I looked it up and see if we can actually find if butt buns were real. And the only thing that popped up was corgi butt. I don't know why. But apparently there's no real... There's probably some restaurant out there in Japan that has it, but like nothing we could find on Google.
Right. You'd probably have to look under its like an actual, like a factual name rather than the English, like translated weird version.
But I love how she's just like, oh, it's so soft. It's just like eating a real butt. I'm like, what?
Oh my god.
But let's talk a little bit about the first episode. Kind of give you a little bit of the rundown. What happens in the first episode? What the show's about. Miko Yotsuya begins noticing things, such as dogs barking at nothing and a handprint on her mirror. At school, she meets her friend Hana Yurikawa, and a red-eyed girl from another class almost talks to her but decides not to. Later, Miko's charm goes missing, so she returns to school to find it and sees a human-shaped mist that disappears. Waiting on a bus stop in the rain, a terrifying ghost of an old, rotting woman appears and demands to know if Miko can see her. Despite her terror, Miko pretends she sees nothing, and the ghost eventually vanishes. Miko returns home. While preparing for bed, the ghost of a man appears in her bathroom and leans with his hand on the mirror, explaining the handprint she saw earlier. He, too, demands to know if she can see him, but she manages to ignore him until he vanishes. Placing salt in her room to drive away spirits, Miko attempts to sleep but realizes the salt doesn't work as the man appears with his head on her stomach. The next day at school, Miko sees the ghost of a deceased student and tearfully realizes that she's not dreaming. She is really seeing ghosts. Basically, the show starts all like happy and quirky into very dark. Like these ghosts and these like decrepit spirits, they're not pretty looking. They are disgusting looking. They're misshapen. Now,
like their eyes are always like sunken and hollow. Like they never actually have like eyeballs, or if they do, they're very strange and like popping out of places that they shouldn't pop out of.
Yeah.
But like everything is grotesque, has multiple heads or multiple necks, body parts that are in the wrong spot. I would see visually, I think they're really scary, but we know that she can hear them, and all the time they'll just kind of wander up, like a big fat one with like something like his mouth will be open like 3 feet wide and he'll be drooling everywhere, and he'll just be like, "Can you see me?" Just straight up asks the person, and then they'll like stand in front of you for a while, and she'll just be looking at them and pretend to be looking through them.
Yep, and like the spirits are very diverse.
But they don't seem to really do much. Like
most don't. But there are
like,
some
there's even a couple that like they do, but they never really explain what it's actually doing, and it doesn't seem to affect humans at all.
Right.
So I'm not entirely sure of what the big deal about these ghosts is, other than they look scary and she doesn't want to see them anymore.
So the whole thing is she doesn't want them to know that she is able to see them, because she's scared. Like, what if they do notice that she can see them? Like, will they be drawn to her? Will they do something to her? We can tell, like, most spirits, they just want to be seen. They just want to be acknowledged that they're there. Some spirits in the show, in one in particular, there is one, I believe, in episode 8.
Episode 8 is the one I wanted to bring up.
Yep. He is referred to in the show as the Axeman, or I guess in the notes by the illustrator.
Yep.
Basically, he is a spirit with a mission. He knows what he's there to do. He basically goes around ripping what appears to be
dark
curses or
spirits
souls
or
spirits. Something out of humans, and he stuffs them into a bag. He drives his axe into the forehead of a human in front of him, which, like we talked about earlier, they don't notice it. They're not affected. But he rips out any dark spirits from them and just shoves them in his bag, and then he just goes on down the line, and he's on this train, and he doesn't seem to be evil. He doesn't seem, the axe doesn't hurt anybody. In fact, when he ripped the spirit out of one a particular human there, it actually seemed like it alleviated them.
Yeah.
So this spirit could actually be a good, a kind spirit. Some people have theorized that he's actually the Grim Reaper.
That's what I thought.
Like he's just taking souls that don't belong, that are attached to humans, and just taking them with him.
That was my immediate thought. I was like, he's like the Grim Reaper, sort of, but he doesn't affect people that are alive. It's like for curses, and he's like, "What are you doing out here? You curse! Get back where you belong.
Get in my sack.
Get in this bag.
get in the bag. Get in the flask." There also are different types of spirits that you will see throughout the show. Some that are incredibly distorted and very creepy. There are more humanoid-looking spirits of the recently deceased, and then there are even some others that I don't really want to give away because I think that was a really cool thing. Like when they were revealed. So
there was a turning point, or at least a part that I thought was going to be a turning point, like around episode, I think it's like 3 or 4, where she recognizes that there's a spirit hanging around, and the spirit's just like, help me, or it needs something.
Right.
And she's like, honestly, that's not like a very hard task. I feel like I could do something here. And she actually helps this spirit out.
Yeah.
And kind of
the
gives
one with the old lady?
Yeah. And like gives it what it wants. And then it's just like, all right, thanks, and then leaves. And I'm like, oh, so is that where this is like, she's going to like come to realize that these are actually just like entities that are actually in need of like some assistance, and she's going to do some ghost detective work and help them out? And she don't.
Yeah. Like
it never happens. I'm
this
like,
show
what?
Really is just her dealing with the amount of spirits and ghosts and ghouls around her. She can't let them know that she sees them, and that's the point of the show. There's really nothing more than that. You have her best friend Hannah, and then you have the other girl that believes that she's some powerful exorcist
she's
or
funny.
Spirit medium, but she's really not. She's just, I don't want to deal with these people.
Yeah, she's just there to get choked out.
And the whole the whole mystery of the show, like what's going on? Why can she see these things? That's the whole point of this show. Let's talk about some of the characters, though, because there are quite a few characters.
Yeah, there's a good handful. So we've got our main protag, Miko Yotsuya, who's voiced by Sora Amamiya in Japanese and Alexis Tipton in English. The protagonist of the story who suddenly became able to see ghosts without any known reason. To keep her usual daily life, she pretends not to see them, as well as making efforts to prevent her best friend Hana from seeing them, which is really funny because she'll do shit like, oh no, the spider like just fell down like right next to you if there is a ghost there, and since Hana can't see them, she just doesn't want Hana to make contact with these things. Like, they don't want to walk through them. Right. They don't want to be touched by them. So she'll constantly trick Hana into thinking that there's something that she does not want to see or touch there other than a ghost, and she'll just be like, ew, gross, and like shift away from it. Or she'll find a reason to accidentally trip and like push him out of the way, or accidentally use some cool wrestling moves on Yuria and choke her ass out on the floor.
Or accidentally, oh no, I spilled this entire bottle of hand sanitizer on you.
That was so funny. The fucking the hand, I forgot about that. The fucking hand pump of like hand sanitizer. She's at like a 5-foot distance just shooting sanitizer at Hana all over her shirt, and it's turning into like an alcohol wet t-shirt contest, basically.
Jesus
Christ.
I love Hana.
Hilarious.
I think she's my favorite character.
Yeah.